The apple doesn't fall far from the man they call Reveen's tree. Becoming the next generation of the impossibilist has been a process developed over many decades. Being the heart of the entertainment industry, he's been inspired by one of the greatest minds in show business. Reveen is making the way for himself with the show The Super Conscious Experience. Ty joins us this morning from our Moncton studio. Good morning to you, Ty. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm delighted to be on your show, Tina. Delighted to talk to you.
Thank you. It's so good to have you. So how has it been touring on your own?
Oh, it's been a wonderful experience. Last year was my first full-length shows. I started in 2011. My father made me go down and audition in front of him and my mother quite extensively. And then after that was all said and done, he took me over to one of the biggest magic clubs in Las Vegas and made me perform in front of 200 of some of the best magicians in the world. And I received a standing ovation, and at that ceremony he passed on his tuxedo to me. And then I did a series of some shows down in Las Vegas and brought it up here last year on a tour through the Maritimes, and broke it in, and now we're on our next tour, and it's been just wonderful.
Tell me, which was more stressful for you? Was it performing in front of your parents or all those magicians?
A combination of both. My father is he's probably my worst critic, but that's because he's an absolute perfectionist. But I was used to that all my life. I'd grown up on the road with him. As a matter of fact, I was born during a Reveen tour back in Australia many years ago, and living with him and touring with him, he demanded absolute perfection out of every show.
Tell me a little bit about your show called The Super Conscious Experience. What is the super conscious?
Well, the state of superconsciousness is a more accurate description of what a lot of people refer to as hypnosis. Now, hypnosis, when my father referred to it, he was trained as a medical hypnotherapist. All of his training was based on reading for decades and studying manuscripts, medical manuscripts. And so before he even did his first show, he knew more about medical hypnotherapy than most doctors did. And then he was trained as an entertainer since he was a young boy, and he put the combination of the two together and made a show unlike anybody's ever seen.
Yeah, he was very good at what he does, and I'm sure you're the same. You had a teacher ahead of you. But tell me, I know a lot of people are a little bit apprehensive about getting on stage, and they think they're going to do something maybe silly or that they don't want to do. Is that the case?
Yeah, a lot of people, we probably get like 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 people who come up on stage end up being in the show, and it's not because they can't be hypnotized. Almost everybody can be placed in a super conscious state in the privacy of a doctor's office or in the privacy of their own room. But when they're on stage, a lot of people become self-conscious about being in front of people, and they wonder, what am I going to do, that I don't know about? Self-conscious fear is the worst enemy of the human mind. It really prohibits us from achieving most of the things that we want to achieve in life, and it's a product of negative conditioning that has accumulated in our minds since the day we were born. So, at the beginning of the show, before the introduction of the superconscious state, before we get into the induction, I go through a speech where I describe to them the difference between their fact and fiction, myth and reality, and describe to them a very accurate scenario of what the superconscious state is.
Ty, we are out of time, but I just want to ask you very quickly, have you learned something about yourself on the road doing your own tour?
Oh, you can't be around Reveen all your life and not learn something about yourself. Yeah, you're limited by your imagination. You're limited by your lack of fear. Your fear really holds you back, and to let go of it and just pursue what you really want to do in life and not be afraid of it is the most valuable thing I've learned from my father.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ty Reveen. We're going to put up a slate here that has all your dates, your upcoming dates, if you'd like to go check it out. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Tina. It's been my pleasure.
All the best. And we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live coming up in 2 minutes.
Every other man's trying to get a number.